Rick, when you heard that the Blue Jackets were going to retire your number, and I know you're a humble kid, what went through your head?
A lot of emotions right away. A lot of memories from when I first got to Columbus and first landed at CMH to making it to the playoffs that year. Thinking about all the sacrifices that my parents made to get me to play hockey. It was honestly tough to put into words what it meant to me. I believe it's not only a big honor in hockey, but in sports in general. To have your number retired is one of the biggest honors.
I don't know if you ever dreamed of it when you were a little boy growing up in Canada, that one day your number would hang from the rafters of an arena, but it's going to happen. And when you come in here, I mean, how emotional do you get when you think of that?
Very emotional. That was one of the key points. Is right away I just went back to my childhood, and we used to go to one Toronto Maple Leaf game a year at the Maple Leaf Gardens, and you looked up and you saw Dave Keon, Daryl Sittler, and all these legends. And yeah, sure, I could dream about it, but I also dreamed about being an NHL hockey player and scoring my first NHL goal, and those don't really seem, the odds aren't kind of in your favors with the numbers. So for me, one of the first things that hit was thinking that my kids and my grandkids and their grandkids are going to come to Nationwide Arena and looking up and seeing 61 in the stands forever, and that's when it kind of hits home.
And you get to experience it with some of your former teammates, Doug McLean, who brought you here, Coach Hitchcock, who you played for. Just, has that all sunk in?
Not yet. I mean, I'm truly lucky that they're willing to come back and speak and talk. And I think we sometimes forget what Doug has done for this organization early on. He brought the energy, he brought the excitement. I know you've been through it a lot with Doug, and he's done a lot, and he should be a pleasant part of this history. I had John Tortorella as a coach, and he was a great coach, and he really came here and changed things. But there was a guy before him named Ken Hitchcock, and I truly feel like he validated this organization and brought us to our first playoff berth. So I'm glad you brought those two guys up, because they're two huge parts of history for the Jackets.
I believe it was in November that they sprung this on you. They surprised you in front of the whole team.
It was a great moment. It was almost surreal. Todd Chirac had me doing the runaround and pulling some prank on me that the cameras were following me for a day in the life of a retired hockey player in the front office. I will say he got me good, and I bought into it. And then they surprised me with the video from John P. McConnell, and then surprised me with my family there, and my kids came walking out. And I don't like surprises, Dom, so it was tough to take, and I'm sure there might be a few more surprises coming up, but I'm truly honored and humbled by the whole thing.
You look at your career, you are the leading goal scorer in Blue Jackets history. 289, I want to say. Do you remember the first one?
Like it was yesterday. I truly do. And I remember that night, just stepping on the ice was a dream come true, and then be able to score a goal against the Chicago Blackhawks, original six, and send the fans to their feet is something that I'll never forget.
You literally, and when you think about it, you were what, 18, 19 years old, you come here, you literally grew up with this organization, and you made Columbus your home. What has that whole experience been like for you, growing up in Columbus with a team that you kind of was at infant stages, and you kind of helped it grow up along with you?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I remember showing up here when I was 18 and calling my friends back home, and they were still in high school or going to college parties, and it was different. And I was, #1 draft pick of a fresh NHL organization that was kind of looking for a face, and obviously, I think along with Jody Shelley, we kind of took that and ran with it. It wasn't always easy, but like you said, I had to grow up and mature quickly in front of an NHL fan base, and I owe a lot to the Jackets fan base, and they were patient with me at times, and we had our ups and we had our downs, but at the end of the day, it's kind of come full circle, and I truly hope that they know how big of a part they are in this number going up to the rafters.
Even when you were traded, You never left. This was home. Why is that?
Yeah, well, I think, I left home at an early age to go play hockey, and then I finally got to Columbus, Ohio when I was 18. And it was kind of the first stable thing I've had in my adult life. And I fell in love with the city. I fell in love with Ohio State. I fell in love with the golf courses in Columbus. Everything felt right, and it felt like a place where I wanted to spend the rest of my life and raise my family. So Columbus has always been home. I left for New York. I came right back after the season was over in New York, and I was back in Columbus, and I knew I would always be here no matter what.
You, for the rest of your life, will be Blue Jackets royalty. And you, a well-deserved honor. There's no question about it. When you think about this experience, and the fans love you, they've always loved you. You've had so many great accomplishments. Where does this one rank?
I can honestly say this one ranks as number one for me. I mean, I've been to an NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, I didn't win. I've won 2 gold medals, won a world championship, a Rocket Richard. This is number one. This one means the most to me. This one is going to be up in the rafters forever, and I can't express that it's not an individual award. It's really not. It's one number, it's one name, but this is the piece of the organization that's going to allow our history to continue on, and I keep trying to express and put it into words what it means to me, and it's next to impossible to do.
I think it's fair to say you love this organization, you love this city, you love the fan base. How hard was it when you were traded?
Yeah, it was some of the hardest times in my life, and not just professionally, but off the ice too. I always thought I would be a Columbus Blue Jacket for my whole career. Obviously, the organization had a different blueprint than I envisioned my career going, and we parted ways, and that's the business side of the sport. I wouldn't trade anything that I've done in my career. New York was incredible, and I got to play for an original 6 and spend 5.5 seasons going to MSG 41 times a year. It was incredible. Those times coming back were tough, though. You never like to get booed. At first it hurt more, but then I realized and appreciated how much Columbus loved their jackets and loved their hockey, and I feel like I had a little piece of helping people fall in love with hockey.
With that said, though, you come back home, and now you're back with the organization, front office. How happy are you with that?
So happy, and I'm grateful for Mike Priest, Jarmo Kekalainen, John Davidson to give me this opportunity to learn underneath them and learn what it takes to run a organization. In the last 3 years, I've learned a lot. I've always felt like I've been a Blue Jacket, so that transition hasn't been hard, and it's so nice to come down to Nationwide Arena and work every day.
You were with this organization in the early days. You were the face of this organization, and many still see you as the face of this organization. With that said, you did a lot to make hockey what it is in this town. How proud are you of that?
Dom, it didn't really hit me until I kind of retired, and especially kind of my tail end of my career when I got traded to Boston. And I remember Sean Crawley coming up to me and saying he had a poster of me in his bedroom. And that's where it kind of hit me. Like I used to grow up watching Matt Sundin and idolizing him. And now these kids in Columbus were doing that with me. And that is a true honor to think that, when I first got to Columbus, maybe there's a lot of new hockey fans. And for me to have a little bit of influence on people falling in love with the sport, that's another one that's tough to put into words of what it means to me, but I can tell you it means a lot.
Are you having fun in the front office? And I got to ask you, do you miss being on the ice? Do you miss playing? And I got to be honest with you, Rick, you're a kid to me, but you keep drinking the water you're drinking. You look like you're 18 still. You know what?
I miss it. I miss it every day. And the tough part is, yeah, I've had some concussions and kind of forced me out of the game, and I still feel like I could produce if I was still healthy enough. But I'm okay with it. As for the front office stuff, I love. I mean, it's nice having a team atmosphere. having the camaraderie with a group of guys. Those are the biggest things that you miss once you retire.
You think it's going to be hard to keep it together when you see it go up?
For sure, for sure. You know, as a professional athlete, you've always been taught to kind of, you know, keep your emotions in tight. This one might be tough for me, but you know, my whole career is going to kind of run through my head when I see that number going up, and it'll be tough to fight back the tears.
As a player, you always did everything possible when you were on the ice to give the fans a win. Now you're in the front office, and I know that mission hasn't changed, has it? You want to do your part to put a winner on the ice. This team's young, but they're talented, aren't they?
For sure, and I don't know if you can feel it, but I feel like there's a new buzz around the arena and this team. And I'm doing player development now, so this is a very important time for our organization. Obviously, we've got traded some of our main guys away and got some draft picks and had a big draft last summer. And now it's the plan to get these guys to become great professionals and great Blue Jackets. And to have a hand in that and to be part of that, it's exciting, but it's also a job. I got work to do, and I got to make sure I do a good job at that.
Last thing, I think it's fair to say you've always had a love affair with the fans here. They love you. Like as I said, you're royalty, and you're always going to be royalty. What's your message to the fans?
My message to the fans is thank you for always supporting me through when I was playing great and when I wasn't playing great. Thank you for being patient. I was a young kid that grew up right in front of your eyes. As that 61 is going up, I hope each fan, whether you're a fan of me or the Blue Jackets or a fan of hockey, can kind of look up and remember the greatest moments that they've had at Nationwide Arena or watch them with their family, and just know that they're part of this ceremony